Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. So in this video we are going to be reviewing Unhinged, which is another brand new cinematic movie release, which is really exciting. It's really interesting actually, as along with Unhinged, Tenet and New Mutants, I honestly thought Unhinged was probably going to be the least best out of all of these movies. However, after watching all three, I have to say Unhinged is definitely the best brand new cinematic movie release. Is absolutely awesome, as it literally does creep up on you and an awesome movie comes out of nowhere. Now I have to be honest, the start of this movie is actually pretty boring, and I think they did that on purpose so that they can kind of have this shocking shift throughout the movie. So it starts off with introducing a character called Rachel, who is just kind of going about her day. She's dropping her kid to school and she is stuck in traffic. Literally, that is how the movie starts, and you're just like, what am I watching? But then it suddenly shifts and becomes a bit of a life or death, intense chase sequence movie that does not stop until the end, which is just absolutely awesome. I do feel like they could have pushed the premise a little bit further just to make it even more impactful and even more intense moments in there. But that being said, what you get is really good, and it's a brilliant thriller movie from start to finish. And I'm going to break down why I think Unhinged is the best new movie out lately in this movie review. So like I just said, the plot of this movie is based on a character called Rachel who is having a really bad day. This then comes to a head when she sees a guy in a truck who's just not moving at a green light. By the way, how annoying is that when people just don't move and it's a green light on the road? But anyway, she then has a bit of a verbal altercation with this guy in a truck whose name is Tom, and she just tells him, look, I'm having a really bad day. Tom in the truck, who she had a bit of a verbal altercation with and who she beeped her horn at because he wasn't moving at the green light, then takes it upon himself to show her the real meaning of what it means to have a bad day, and begins terrorizing her life. So from a premise point of view, this is really interesting. A complete stranger that has a verbal altercation with another stranger, and then this stranger is just going to take it upon himself to completely destroy and ruin the other person's life. So from a cast and characters point of view, a relatively small cast, but they are just so brilliant. The characters in this movie are so good. So let's go through them one by one. So first up, we have Russell Crowe, who plays Tom Cooper, the relentless psycho who just makes it his life mission to terrorize this poor woman called Rachel. And Russell Crowe just plays an absolutely brilliant villain in this movie. He is just so good. He's just totally unstoppable, totally mentally unstable, and just incredibly dangerous. So I just feel like Russell Crowe did an absolutely brilliant job in terms of bringing the Tom Cooper character to life. Next up we have Caren Pistorius, who brilliantly plays Rachel, the unlucky victim who is being harassed by Tom and is now fearing for her and, more importantly, her family's life as well. And like I said, she just brilliantly plays this character that is in a very intense and impossible situation. And like I said before, this could literally happen to anyone. The movie tagline is "he could happen to anyone." So literally, I feel like this Rachel character is just the unlucky victim, like I said, but she brilliantly brings this character and this situation to life. So you really do feel like you're with this character. So I feel like the actress's portrayal is absolutely brilliant. And then finally, we have Gabriel Bateman, who plays Kyle, who is Rachel's son. And this is a brilliant young actor. He was also the main character in Child's Play, and he really does bring the much needed intensity to this situation and to this character and to the whole world that they're kind of experiencing. So from a cast and characters point of view, they are absolutely brilliant. So from a visuals point of view, this movie is absolutely awesome. It's really interesting, as this movie actually has a really healthy budget, but it doesn't necessarily show on screen, as it does feel a little bit low budget. But that being said, it's not a problem, as the stripped back visuals really work in terms of the intensity that they want to communicate in this movie, and to really make you feel the intensity and the pressure that this character is under. So the visuals work really well from that point of view. and also the camera angles, the brilliant chase sequences, and the jump scare moments as well in this movie are so good. So overall, from a visuals point of view, this movie is awesome. In terms of comparisons, this movie has a refreshing new take on the somewhat predictable jilted stalker storyline which is all over this genre, but instead here it's a stranger that is becoming quite obsessive and becoming a stalker that's terrorizing this character's life. And because you don't know this person, you don't know what they're capable of, and actually that makes it a lot more terrifying and a lot more scary. So it's really unique from that point of view. But if we are to compare it to other movies within this genre, I'd say it's similar to The Boy Next Door, Fatal Attraction, and Obsession. But like I said before, it's definitely got its own new twist within this genre, which is really awesome. In the end, it's revealed that Russell Crowe's character Tom is very psychotic. He's the character that killed his ex-wife and her boyfriend and destroyed their home in the opening act, and as such he was really triggered when the Rachel character told him that she's having a bad day, and as such he made it his life mission to show her the real meaning of a bad day and completely destroy and terrorize her life. In the final confrontation at the end of the movie between Rachel, Tom and Kyle, Rachel is able to kill this character, and then they also find out that Rachel's brother, who Tom also tried to kill, actually survives. So it's a bit of a happy ending, somewhat of a happy ending, given everything that Rachel had to go through in this movie. I really also liked how they kind of went 360 in the final scene in the movie where Rachel has another opportunity to beep her horn, but she decides not to. So she's definitely learned her lesson and thought that, you know, if she beeps her horn, then she doesn't know what crazy person might be behind the other wheel, which I think is a really interesting lesson, as you don't know how psychotic another person, a stranger in particular, that you're having an altercation with, and the impact that this can have. So I feel like there's a really nice lesson in there as well. But in terms of the ending of this movie, a really satisfying conclusion to a brilliant movie. Overall, I actually really enjoyed Unhinged. Like I said before, it kind of came out of nowhere. I was watching it and I was like, what is this movie? And then it just completely flipped and just turned into this very intense situation for this character. And like I said before, the Russell Crowe Tom character was just a brilliant villain, super relentless, super unstoppable, super unpredictable, and super psychotic, and I just feel like he really brought this character to life. He did do some very terrifying things in this movie, which I do feel they could have pushed it a little bit further, maybe expanded the runtime a little bit more and had more intense situations. But you know, that being said, what you do get in this movie is really great, and you know, all of the intense situations and the gripping narrative from start to finish is absolutely brilliant. And so for all of those reasons, I have to give Unhinged a solid 7 out of 10. I'd love to hear what you think, so please let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.